What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and yes, it was a win, but I don't know. I still have my problems, And I know a lot of people out there might say, "Come on, I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not like we lost 5 away games in a row, or lost to the bottom place team at home or anything like that." And for those of you that are confused, I'm doing this review on Sunday, so yes, I know all about the Man U and Arsenal results. At least I'm not one of their fans. No, but I mean, we're facing Southampton, who, I mean, they're one of the relegated teams, no doubt. It looks like it's going to be that bottom three: West Brom, Southampton, Stoke. They look like they're going down, no problem. And so going away to Southampton, especially because we're facing them in the FA Cup semi-final, this should be where we make a statement. But instead, Conte puts out a weak lineup again, and it's pretty much exactly the same with like two changes. He's switched Moses and Zappacosta, which, in my opinion, is bringing out a weaker player. And he switched, he brought Rudiger out, moved Cahill over, and put Christensen back in, which means, I mean, not having Cahill as the center of your back three is better, but you still have Cahill in, and he still can cause you some problems, which he did. But yeah, it just not much change. I mean, basically he put out Giroud, and that's something that should have happened at the beginning of the game. He should have started. And then he goes out there and proves why he should have started, while Murata pretty much did nothing this entire game. And he really hasn't done anything the past couple games. Oh, but he scored a goal and he got an assist. That's one thing he did, and then you pile on top of that the 20 bad things he did, the 20 times he lost the ball. I mean, it really doesn't equal out. And especially because we need somebody up there who's not just going to, oh, he might pop up within a goal, maybe, but somebody who's going to positively affect the play to where we control the game, we dominate the game. Murata doesn't do that. He's up top, we lose the ball. We pass it to him, he loses the ball. We try to find him over the top, he's not fast enough to go get the ball. We try to play quick 1-2, he may lay it off to somebody, but it's probably not a great pass, and then they're under pressure, and now we lose our momentum. He doesn't have it. And I know I'm getting into individuals before I want to, but that's my frustration with Conte, is that he continues to put his trust in him when he really hasn't earned it in the past few games. Like, he really has done nothing to earn that starting spot. So that's frustrating. The fact that Zappacosta goes in, like I said, that's frustrating. He just, in my opinion, he doesn't bring anything else to the field that Moses doesn't already, except a lack of defensive work. And that hurt us. And then the fact that Alonso continues to play, even though he's not doing anything to earn his spot, and really in this game, really showed why he doesn't need to be out there. But that's more individual stuff. So I'm trying to think if there's anything refereeing wise that I need to talk about. I will say Alonso should have gotten a red, and that's not just because I want him off the field. I mean, it was a stupid challenge. You could see it's the frustration of the game. He's just going in, being an idiot, which he does quite a bit. But aside from that, the referee, it was kind of hit and miss again, which most Premier League referees do have games like that where they're just like, oh, that's a foul, but that's not a foul. And it's a little inconsistent, but not nearly as bad as MLS referees, so I'm not going to complain that much. As far as individuals are concerned, though, Courtois, I'm trying to remember the first goal now, because I remember the second goal perfectly. Oh, right. The taking it down the line, cut it back. Neither one, I mean, there's not much you could have done for either one of the goals, honestly. Both times he was kind of left stranded. So, not gonna say that he should do better. I know I've talked about in the past how I don't feel like he really makes the world class saves that somebody like De Gea makes to keep Man U in the game. But in this game particularly, he couldn't have really done anything about either of those. He had to be superhuman to make those saves, because both of them were pretty much, the defense left him stranded. As far as the defense is concerned, Azpilicueta, he did get outpaced for that first goal, but it's one of those where it's not really the man that he was focused on. It was Zappacosta who let Bertrand go, and then after he lets him go, then Azpilicueta sees, oh crap, you let him go, now I gotta run, and by that point Bertrand has already gotten up to speed. And it's hard to catch somebody when they are full steam ahead, they've already hit their full speed, you aren't quite there yet, and you're already behind him, I mean, that's difficult. He did try to do as much as he could to put him off, but Bertrand just happened. I mean, he did well to get that first touch inside of him. So, it's one of those where I'm not really going to blame him for that one. And for most of the game, he did pretty well. Same for Christensen. Most of the game, he did pretty well defensively. Really shut people down. Can't really. He had like one mistake that I can think of where his trap out of the air wasn't really good enough, and it was a giveaway. But then he did well to recover and do the defensive side of the work. Cahill, on the other hand, past two games have been terrible, and this one was no different. Just not doing enough for us defensively. On the first goal, in my opinion, should have been him that steps out to whoever it was. I think it was Tadic that scored. We have Azpilicueta is trying to stop Bertrand. He's going one-on-one with him. Christensen has done well to get him behind, give support. And so who's going to watch the person that it gets cut back to? Well, it's got to be Cahill because he's the only defender in there. But instead, it goes, here's Bertrand, here's Azpilicueta, here's the goal, right in front of you. Christensen steps in, and Cahill steps all the way back here, like even with Christensen. Nobody is stepping to Tadic, who's like right here, penalty spot, saying, hey, they're not going to mark me. Go ahead and give me the ball. So I don't know. Once again, he's our captain, and he's not smart enough to see that. And he does this all the time. There are moments where somebody's stepping to one guy with the ball, and they've got him covered, and he steps to that guy with the ball as well. And then one guy over here that should be marking is wide open. I understand you want to give, pressure and support, but there's a guy wide open now because you've stepped to give support. And in this case, Christensen had already stepped in his support, which means you're not even supporting this. You should be marking the open man. So I'm really frustrated that he can't see this. He's old enough to know. He's old enough to have the experience to know, okay, this guy's wide open. I need to step to him, or I need to tell Christensen to step to him. But to not talk to him at all, to have both of them step back and give support, leaving him wide open for the goal is very frustrating. But that's the goal. Aside from that, what else did he do? He didn't really do much. And it reminds me of last game against West Ham, how I was going to say he had kind of just an game, not really effective, but not really bad either. But then his mistake that leads to West Ham's goal, that made it a bad game. Similar here. He didn't really do much outside of the mistake that led to the first goal that made me think good or bad. He's just not really involved. So that's my frustration with Cahill. I just don't think he provides anything. Every other defender that we have, aside from David Luiz, provides something. Azpilicueta, very good defensive player and can deliver a good cross in. Christensen, easily our most composed and smartest defender. Rudiger, good solid defender, strong, and also hits good diagonals to the other side. Cahill, nothing. Nothing I can think of. It used to be he wins balls in the air on corners, good attacking headers. He doesn't even do that anymore. So why is he out there? So moving on to wingbacks. Zappacosta, like I said, what does he bring that Moses doesn't? A lack of defensive work. Aside from that, they're pretty much the same player. Moses is more of a take it down the line trying to cut in. Zappacosta is more the player that's going to try to take you on and beat you. But that's the only place where they differ in the attack. Defensively, Moses works his butt off to get back. I mean, that first goal, Zappacosta should be tracking Bertrand. Moses probably would have tracked him, but instead, Bertrand lays it back. Zappacosta goes, ooh, I'm going to follow the ball now. Forget that guy. And Bertrand's just like, he's not defending me? He's not? Okay, guys, he's not defending me. Send me in. And from there, it's just downhill. So it's just that lack of defensive work that he has. It's the desire to get up in the attack before we've even defended. That pisses me off. It frustrates me so much to have a defensive player who doesn't defend. You're a wing back. You're not a winger, you're a wing back. That means you got to do both sides of it. And if you can't, then get off the field. Moses can do both sides. He's not always effective in the final third, but Zappacosta hasn't been recently either. So what does he bring that Moses doesn't? Nothing. Aside from the fact that he doesn't defend. And that's not a good thing to bring to the field. So I'm frustrated that was the change that, I don't know, Conte just went, you know what? the one thing we need to change, aside from taking Rudiger off and putting Christensen on, the one thing we need to change, aside from that, we need Zappacosta on the field. That's the change that we need. I don't get it. And then Alonso on the other side, I mean, God, aside from nearly getting himself sent off for a stupid challenge, what was he doing on the second goal? And for that matter, not tracking back on the first goal either, that doesn't help his case. The fact that he provided one good cross in the entire game, and even then, it wasn't really that great a cross. He just kind of dumped it in, and Giroud did well to score it. But aside from that, I mean, attacking, he hasn't brought anything in the past several games. Defensively, I mean, not tracking back on the first goal, second goal, loses his man, and then wheels away in celebration. I mean, what was that? Honestly. The guy has beaten you, and as he is cutting inside to go finish, you're running away. Like, literally running away. Like, he's about to go to the crowd. And I'm just sitting there going, am I watching this? Am I watching a professional at a club like Chelsea run away as a guy finishes? Who does that? So, I'm honestly kind of hoping the FA bans him for his challenge, because that would mean that we'd finally get to play somebody else there. Knowing Conte, it would probably be Zappacosta over Emerson, because Lord knows we signed this new player. Let's not play him. I don't understand. Alonso's not been bringing anything to the field. Why not give Emerson a chance? If he doesn't bring anything to the field, then fine. Now we have a reason to not play him. However, when you don't give him a chance, how do we know that he's not going to bring anything? I'm going to use this argument later, so remember that argument. How do we know if you're not going to try it? Remember that, because this is coming back. We go into the midfield. Fabregas, not really his same old self. The passes haven't been connecting. A lot of it, once again, just like the last game, I feel like I'm deja vu. How can you connect passes with your striker when your striker's not willing to do the work to put himself in a good position? Some of the passes did look like, oh, that would be a good pass if Morata would make a move, if Morata would do something, but he's not. And so it's like Fabregas is looking for passes that Morata is not seeing at all because he's somewhere else entirely. It's like he's the one piece that is completely different from all the other pieces on the field, and that's the one piece that we need the most to work up there. Conte is Conte. Conte is always going to be his self. He's going to continue to work hard in the midfield. Harshly done by several times in this game. That is one thing, now that I'm thinking about the referee decisions. The foul that led to the second goal, Conte being a good, strong player and the other guy falling over. And then there was one where he won the ball back in the first half, had a chance to send it in, and the referee calls it because the guy fell over too easily. That type of play is frustrating because I'm watching Conte just do his job so well, and then the referee punish him for it. How is that right? But anyway, moving on from that, Willian and Hazard, once again, I feel bad for both of them because they're not playing poorly, but they're finding it difficult to link up with the striker because Morata's not providing the runs that they need, or if they do flick it onto him, he loses it completely. So, I don't know, I feel like they're both trying to work with him, they're both trying to move the ball around, and honestly, some of the, I saw somebody complaining about, Williams doing all these crappy flicks, and so is Hazard. They're not crappy flicks. It's Morata is not there to help it on. He's running away from them while they're trying to use him as an outlet. Or they do get it to him, and then he just falls over looking for the foul. So I don't really blame Hazard and Willian for it because they're trying their best to link up with him. Morata's just not doing enough. So, on to Morata. This is where my frustration comes from. Because he's done nothing in the past two games. He continues to do nothing in this game. And in this one, he doesn't even provide an assist or a goal, which he did in the past two games, which is the only reason really why I can see, he scored, so let's give him another chance. He did win that header that Azpilicueta scored, so let's give him another chance. That would be the only reason, watching those two games, that I would think he'd be back in there. Yesterday, didn't do anything. No assists, no goals, provided nothing, lost the ball several times. So there's no reason he should be on the field next game. And, going back to my earlier point, Giroud comes off the bench, scores 2 goals. immediately change of momentum. Now, part of that is down to the fact that I think Mark Hughes waited way too late to make his substitutions. Giroud, Pedro come on, the momentum swings in our favor. We get a goal back. Mark Hughes at that point probably should have made some subs, got some fresh legs on. Instead, he waited. Momentum kept coming, and then we get 2 more goals. So I will say Mark Hughes does take a little bit of blame for that. However, Giroud is the big part of that. He's the big one that just stepped in, boom, momentum comes our way. And the thing is, people are saying, oh, what a great sub by the manager. Okay, why didn't he start though? And I know some people are going to say, yeah, but, he plays the role of super sub. Here's the thing, just like I said with Emerson, how can we know that he's not going to do the same thing if he starts if you never start him? Because from what I've seen in the past when we started him, he's played well. Now, he's not always gotten a goal or an assist. That's not the point. The point is not always to score or assist. The point is, are we playing well? And in my opinion, every time he's on the field, he's providing. He's being positive. He's working hard to win the ball back. He's working hard to keep the ball. He does so much more with his time on the field than Murata does that all I can think is, why does he not start? And like I said, I get the fact, yes, at Arsenal, he played the role of super sub. He did well with that. Great. Here, he's come off the bench. He's done well as a super sub. Great. However, do you really want to go into every game thinking, okay, let's have Giroud on the bench just in case a team like Southampton goes up 2-0? Because I guarantee you do this against other teams. Tottenham went up 2-1 and then went up 3-1. Let's bring Giroud off the bench there. Guess what? He can't do it against a team like Tottenham because they're good enough to sit in and not let him have an opportunity to get the game back. Only against a team like Southampton can he come on and make as big an impact as he did. Bring you down or bring you up from a 2-goal deficit to come back and win 3-2. That's not going to happen against better teams. So, why not start the game with your best lineup? Instead of saying, oh, no, we're gonna keep him off because he plays best when he's a super sub. How do you know he plays best there when you haven't even given him a chance to start? So that's my biggest frustration there. As far as the other subs, Pedro came on, played okay. He did well. He didn't really do anything fantastic. He still gave the ball away a couple times, and I'm just like, how are you giving the ball away there? And I don't remember if there was a third sub or not. I feel like there was, but I don't remember who it was now. Oh, right. He brought on Moses. Give Hazard a break, that's fine. Go back to your back 5, that's fine. And Moses does bring more defensive support, so in my opinion, that was probably a good way to shut up shop. But yeah, while we did win, my frustration is still there because basically, if we want to be in the Champions League picture next year, we've got to be perfect. And this game showed we are not going to be perfect because we're not going to face teams like Southampton every week. We're not going to face teams that are falling into relegation. We're going to face teams that are battling to stay out of relegation. And Arsenal and Man U, they showed why that's dangerous today. Even West Brom, who are dropping for sure, they showed enough fight to beat Man U at Old Trafford. That could happen to us any game unless we are on top of our game every single time. And when we're not, we go down 2-0 to Southampton. Yes, we had enough fight and desire to fight back. That's great. However, Conte keeps making these bad decisions, and it keeps hurting us. It keeps putting us in desperate situations. That should not happen every game. That should not happen when we're trying to catch Tottenham. Because chances are Tottenham are only going to slip up a couple more times, and if we don't win every single game, I guarantee you we're definitely not going to pass them. We have a slight chance to pass them right now because there's still a chance after this, past couple results, there might be a chance that they slip up, and have a couple weeks off. That's our only chance right now that we can catch them and get back up into 4th place. But that's looking very, very slim if we continue to play like we did against Southampton. So I would prefer we start off the game dominant and we continue to show that dominance throughout the game instead of let's start off slow and then maybe fight back. but the chances of that happening again are very, very slim. So that's my frustration. I know not everybody's going to agree with me. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, just be happy with the win. It's whatever. At least we didn't lose. But in my opinion, I've had frustrations in the past this season. I've had frustrations in other games where we played okay. We won. We got the result that we needed. But those little problems that I had in those games eventually kept mounting and mounting and mounting, and then we lost 4-0 to Bournemouth, and then we lost 4-0 to Watford, and then we lost to Man City, and then we lost to Man U, and then we dropped out of the top four. Those little problems that I had, those games where everybody's like, it's no big deal, it's no problem, we got no problem here, those problems eventually led to several losses that have now dropped us out of the Champions League spots. So in my opinion, even if we did win this game, even though we did come back and fight back, the problems are not done. We need to fix these, or else our season could get much, much worse. So that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this game? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea reviews. I'll see you guys in the next game. Peace out.